It is the Extratime.ie esports cup. All of this in aid of Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. Again, our thanks to the players who all took time out to be part of this. All of them doing it in their own time and for nothing. We're really grateful to them because they're raising money for a great cause. Thanks to you for watching and being part of it as well. We don't have real football at the moment, so we have to fill the void somehow. And this is how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you, by the way, via at Extra Time News, or you can get me via at Oisin Langan, and you can get Eric Finn, full-time professional FIFA player, on at...
It is Eric, a mouthful. Example underscore XX without the E's.
Brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. It is Sligo against Bohemians. Ronan Coughlan up against Danny Grant. Danny Grant looking good, but a win here would almost seal his spot in the semi-final. In the other group, Waterford and Dundalk already through. So it's Sligo in the red against Bohemians in the white. The white's not doing Bohs any harm against Derry City. Here's Casey. Played well in that game. And it goes to Kirk. Ronan Coughlan got an incredible goal in one of the games. I think it might have been against Derry. And you can go back and watch that. And more so the reaction of Ronan Coughlan. I think he looked more surprised than anyone else at that particular moment in time. Now he's changing things up here. Eric, what do you think might be going on?
Might actually be turning off the commentators, which helps us out because then we can also listen to the stadium ambience. But other than that, I don't think he's doing much else.
So here we go again. Ronan Coughlan turning down the commentators, as so many people want to do. I don't take it personally. Here's Mandreu. Wright, who's been in really electric form. Wright tries to slide it through, but it was anticipated well by Sligo, the keeper. Playing it rather dangerously there. Sligo playing out from the back. That's really brave stuff from Ronan, isn't it, Eric?
Yeah, that was definitely brave to say the least. I'm not exactly sure what he was trying, but he pulled it off. So, give him credit where it's due.
Banks, Buckley, DeFries, Buckley, Cawley, Cooper, back to Cawley, Buckley. He looks so comfortable on the ball, Ronan Coughlan. And just as I say that, Buckley loses the ball and Wright squares for Ward, who gives it back to Wright. Mandreu, technically gifted. Mandreu into the path of Twardek. Twardek, formerly of Sligo, to Wright, who jumped over it. What was he doing? He really should have scored there. Eric, try and explain that if you can.
Yeah, so that's another annoying thing in this game that can happen. Well, I say that, but at the same time, the real issue is that he put too much power, so you held the button to pass for too long, which puts more power on it, which then it automatically directs to a player furthest away. The more power, the further distance the ball goes, and also whoever gets, tracked onto the ball, if that makes sense. So, yeah, the game just thought he wanted the ball far post, and I really doubt that was the real case.
Here's Ronan Coughlan as himself. Puts in a deep cross. Maybe a bit too deep. No, it's headed across the face of goal, but Talbot is there to take it. It was basically a pass back header to him. Cornwall. Buckley. Ward. Kirk. Buckley to Casey. Kirk. Down the line it goes. Danny Grant as himself. In behind, Kirk on the chase. Kirk is muscled off it. That's really good defending.
Yeah, I didn't know if he had the legs to keep up with him there for a second, but he got back extremely well and a little bit risky with the tackle that was thrown in, but paid off in the end.
Buckley. Cawley. Cawley trying to slalom his way through. He's siphoned down there, and it's a yellow card for Bohemians and Chris Twardek against his old club. Cooper. Squares it for Coughlan, who tries to pull it back maybe. just maybe, Eric, he should have had a crack.
Yeah, I think it was an extremely tight angle, but definitely, I guess, obviously we've seen the end product, which was the interception there. But yeah, it was a nice move to get down the line and get it in. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out in his favour. Hopefully we see a bit more of that.
Ward. Grant. Ward. Kind of stubbed it to Buckley. Mandreu. Taken off his toe and back to the goalkeeper. McGinty. Donlan. Cooper. Donlan. Kane. De Vries. Cawley. Out to Donlan, who's pushed up a bit. Banks. Down to Murray. And we know Murray can move backwards in this case. Buckley squared to De Vries, back to Buckley. De Vries. He's playing a lot of 1-2s and triangles here, Eric.
Yeah, I'm watching it. It's crazy. It's the most patient play we've seen so far in this tournament for sure. And if it pays off, it pays
Buckley.
off. But
oh, maybe Buckley didn't expect it back there.
see,
It's kind of weird when you say that in FIFA because Ronan would have known what he was doing controlling it, the player himself on the pitch.
Yeah.
In normal circumstances, as a commentator, you can say that because the players are in charge of each other as opposed to one player in charge of all of them, if that makes sense.
I can only imagine how, because it is very frustrating to play against somebody that's playing as patient and possessive as Ronan is. He's holding onto the ball extremely well. Danny Grant really has to make sure that he takes all of his opportunities because I think they'll come very few and far between, unfortunately.
A scoreless at the break, probably better for Ronan Coughlan at this stage. I think it's fair to say that Danny Grant really could do with the win, even though he is top of the group following the win against Derry. He's only on 5 points after 3 games. This is his last game of Group 2.
Yeah, we have 0 shots at the half-time break, 62% possession for Ronan Coughlan. I think every single game he's had at least about 57% versus every opponent. And as you can see, he is second in the leaderboards currently. So I guess it does work, but it is very frustrating to play against. And hopefully Danny Grant can keep his cool now in the next second half.
Right, digs it back out to Lyons. Lyons puts in the cross. McGinty gets there. Good goalkeeping. He is going for this whole total football thing, isn't he, Ronan Coughlan?
Yeah, I'm not. It's like watching a prime Mourinho and his boys at Chelsea. But no, he's a fantastic player in FIFA, and I'd imagine just so in Sligo Rovers. But at the moment, the play itself, with 0 shots, he really needs to try and get a bit more forward. Now, in fairness, Danny Grant does have a few bodies back, but I think we could be looking at a stalemate here.
Which would suit Ronan Coughlan probably a bit more. Here comes Buckley. Slides it out to Murray, gets it back. Buckley. De Vries in behind, put too much on it.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. He did kind of everything right, and he was dragging out defenders correctly, leaving gaps in the defence. Just too much on the pass this time around.
Lyons. Twardek is in behind, he's got space. Wright is probing. Showed too much of it. Kane got across really well. He's defending extremely well. Is it just like real football? Do you build from the back?
Sometimes, but to be honest, a lot of the times you can just kind of loft it forward and hope for the best. As we saw Cameron Saul do very well for Finn Harps in Group 1. He did counter-attacking football fairly well. Unfortunately, the results didn't always go his way, but some of the passes he was making were extraordinary. Yeah,
he was desperately unlucky, Cameron Saul. And this whole stoppage of football and stoppage of life, as we know, it will probably go on a bit longer than we initially thought or were told. So we might have another competition and maybe Cameron Saul will get a chance. For now, though, it is the Esports Cup. It's dinked in behind and it's cleared. It'll be a free kick. It's Coughlan himself who gives it away. He'll be frustrated with himself. Buckley, so solid around the middle. Buckley, formerly of Cork City, had a really successful spell there. Here's Cawley. Buckley. Donlan, back to Kane. I'm not sure we've had a scoreless draw so far, have we, Eric?
Yeah, I don't think we have, actually. It's very strange that you say that, because in the competitive scene for myself, this year has been definitely the most amount of scoreless draws we've seen in any
why
year
is that?
of FIFA. The game, as you can see yourself, the way it's been played is a lot of players just get their teams to sit back, absorb the pressure, and then other players like to just hold the possession. So it's exactly the way this is being played, to be honest. It's a lot of sit back and counter, and also a lot of holding the ball. So it's not very good two matchmakers for a lot of goals.
Banks, who had 12 years at Stoke, on his way to Sligo. Here's Coughlan, tries to put it in behind the Limerick man. Bohemians on the counter-attack. Danny Grant could really do with the win here. Yes, he's on top of the group, but there's so many games to be played. That doesn't guarantee you anything at this early stage. Mandreu, the under-21 international. He's under-21 boss now, the senior boss. And of course, formerly, the Bulls boss, Stephen Kenny. Mandreu gets in behind. Mandreu looking to square it. Sligo get it away. And it's great to see most of the clubs that Kenny managed coming out and congratulating him on getting the job. Here's Wright, he's smothered. Wright steals it back, but McGinty is there to suss out the danger. It goes loose, and McGinty dives on it again. It's getting a little bit more frantic now, if I can put it that way, Eric.
Yeah, definitely. The two boys, both of them are at the top of the table thus far, and I doubt that they want to, have much of a fight when it comes down to the last few games, rather than the closeness that it is at the moment.
Coughlan almost getting in there. He was just dispossessed. Bohemians on the counter-attack. Wright is in behind. Now, does he have the pace to get away? Oh. Wright! Not straight at the keeper, but not very far away from him. I think McGinty did a bit of a Hollywood dive there.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate, because Wright was very clinical last game around against Derry. But I don't think he did much wrong, to be honest. Maybe he should have went across the body shot against the goalkeeper, but I guess hopefully if he gets another chance this half, he might take it.
Coughlan trying to get away from Cornwall. Coughlan intercepted. Mandreu nodded on towards Wright, sussed out, and they have it in the middle again. Here's Cawley. Coughlan didn't pick anyone out. You could see what he was trying to do, but it didn't work out.
No.
Right, nods it out to the wing. Or was that De Vries? No, it was Wright, I beg your pardon. Wright has to be careful here, and he is. That's a really good play. They were looking for Twardek, they couldn't find him. Cooper. Donlan, not long left now. 2 minutes of injury time, and we're already into it. Ronan Coughlan. There's not enough support in the box. Ronan Coughlan easily dealt with. I think Danny Grant needs to rush forward here. Danny Grant needs a goal. A draw, not much good to him, but that wasn't a very good kick out, and a draw has to do him. And it's our first scoreless draw in the EA, or the Extratime.ie esports cup in aid of cystic fibrosis Ireland. Not a particularly great game, Eric Finn. Why was that?
As I said earlier, it was more like the play styles were extremely conflicting in the whole game. Like, it was one person's sit back, counter attack, and the other was hold the ball, try and work it in as slowly as I can, put out defenders. It's really the story of competitive FIFA, to be honest, this year, even for myself. And one shot in 90 minutes, like you wouldn't even see that in real life, nearly. So it is unfortunate, but that's just the meta of competitive esports in FIFA at the moment. No, not all games are like that, but when two players collide, have such vastly different play styles, this does happen. And I'd imagine if they played again, I doubt we'd see much of a difference.
Well, Ronan Coughlan still very much in it thanks to that scoreless draw. He is now on 5 points. Bohemians are now on 6 points. Coughlan still has one game to go, but Bowes and Danny Grant, as I say, on 6 points, also with just one game to go. But there's so much football to be played in this group. he's not guaranteed anything. So for Danny Grant, he's playing the waiting game. For Ronan Coughlan, it's kind of still in his own hands. Remember, this is all in aid of Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. We thank you for watching. We thank the players for taking part. This is a particularly weird point in our history as a country, as a planet. I don't think anyone has ever known restrictions like this. So we're doing what we can to get through it, and we're sticking together as a footballing and sporting community. If you can help other people out, then do. If you're in a position to do so, then by all means do. And you can do that by going to idonate/Extratime.ie esports cup. A scoreless draw, not a particularly good game, but I think it's fair to say Ronan Coughlan and Sligo will be that bit happier than Danny Grant. But Grant could still get through. However, it is out of his own hands. Eric Finn, for now, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For myself, Oisin Langan, it is goodbye. Thank you for watching.